everyone, welcome to another process video. I'm Jenny. At the moment I'm just adding some clear Liquitex gesso to my page and then heating it with a heat gun to make sure that it is completely dry, and I'm spraying a piece of plastic with some glimmer mist and just wetting it down a little bit with a paintbrush with a little bit of water on it and hitting it with the heat gun so it's completely dry so I can add another colour and the two colours aren't going to blend together. So here I go. I've just got a lovely minty sort of colour, and that is from Prima, and I've just sprayed the plastic wrap not the plastic wrap, just the plastic packaging, and have rubbed that onto the page. But I decided that I need a little bit more colour, so I actually just squirt straight onto the page, and I've completely dried that up, and I'm getting this little photo mat piece here where I'm going to add all those little photos, and I'm just turning it around to see which way I actually want the photos to go. So I've decided that I need a little bit more colour poking out, so I spray that again, and you will see my mad drying and spraying skills in a minute. So I'm just drying that page up back and front, and I'm opening the bottle, there we go, and spraying and flicking ink all at the same time. So I'm just wanting to make sure that I have actually got some sprays of ink as well, sprays and little splashes and of mist as well. So I want some all irregular spots of ink. So just showing you there the glimmer mist that I used. So this lovely yellow, I think I turn it over, just getting it into focus. So Sun Sisters spray ink, that one is. And then this one here is from Prima, and that is Soft Teal. So they're the two colours that I have used to make the background, and I am going to put it down and start sticking the photo together, but I just gave you a bit of a close-up of the finished result. And you can see here that the paper has buckled quite a bit, so all I'm doing is cutting a little bit off both sides, a top and a side, and I'm adding a lot of sticky tape. So just thought I would show you that I'm actually adding a lot of double-sided tape to try and stop some of the buckling, and I'm going to add this to another piece of cardstock. So I'm actually just keeping it white on white, and I'm just adding this piece to another white piece. And I really like the look that that makes, and in the end I bend up the edges with my fingers, and it gives it a little bit more dimension and texture around the edge where it's roughed up. So I've got these two pieces of paper, and one is going to be the matte. So the yellow one is the matte for the green piece, so I don't need to use the piece in the middle, so I can use that for another layout. And I just stick those two together, and then I will go about putting all these little photos on little photo mats, and I think one of them doesn't have a little mat and the others do. So some of these photos are exactly the same as each other, but I'm happy with that. That's okay by me. And I'm using that little guy at the top that's holding up the banner that says Happy Day. So this was part of a challenge to use a stamp that wasn't a word stamp. It needed to be an image stamp, so I had that stamp. It was a new stamp I got from Stampin' Up, and so I coloured it in with my distress markers and an aqua brush, and yeah, thought that I would use that to my page, and I really like it up there. So that's the first time I've incorporated an image stamp like that into the layout, so I really like the end result. And just having a look, so this is actually about, I don't know how many times I've tried to do this voiceover. So I actually uploaded this onto YouTube and was listening to it, and as I was listening to it I could hear squirrels in the background. So I had forgotten to mute the sound of the original recording, and my daughter was in my room chatting with me while I was doing the layout, and so you know, all you could hear was lots of squeaking and my voiceover, so I've had to pull it down and start all over again. So and it's been quite a few weeks since I have done this layout, so if I'm a little bit rusty, I do apologize, and hopefully, you know, we're going along okay. So I've put all of those photos down on this photo mat, and I've stuck that to the page, and now it's just time to do a little bit of embellishing. So I've just stuck a chipboard heart there, and this is continuing on this lot of embellishments with the I Am collection, and I think this could be one of the last ones that you'll see from this collection before we go on to the craft market from Crepe Paper. So I've just put that bicycle on some foam squares and taken all the backings off and stuck that down to give that a little bit of dimension and lift off the page. And I'm just putting down these little word chipboard titles as well, and I don't really like the way that first one's sitting, so it needs to have another little piece of paper underneath that. So just sticking that one down, and I've got loved, simply me and thankful, so that reads under the I am loved, simply me and thankful. And then I'm thinking that it needs something else, and I've got these beautiful little arrow or chevron pieces from Pink Fresh Studio. That's a tongue twister, and they are really gorgeous. They're like a wood veneer with a puffy sticker sort of thing in the middle of them. So I really like the dimension that they add and the color that they add, and they're really gorgeous. So just adding a little bit of a stamp here, sort of a arrow stamp, and I'm just stamping it with I think it is a Ranger Archival ink in Pool or something like that. It's a nice minty sort of colour anyway. So there I go, bending up the edges, and you can see how nice that looks now. And I put my ink, and here you see my ink will run because I lift up my layout a bit. Whoops, there you go. And it all runs towards my layout, but it is what it is. I'm happy with that little mistake. I'm not going to start my whole layout again. So that happens. That's why I usually just put my ink and leave it. So I will leave you with the stills. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye.